Hello and welcome to my channel. Welcome to another live video. So look, guys, this is going to be a quick one. This is going to be probably about 15 minutes. So I haven't announced this. So I imagine a lot of people watching will be watching this on the replay. So welcome and thank you for coming to my channel to watch this lovely little video. So what I'm going to talk about now in this brief period that we have together is about the need to keep taking risks, okay? Because life really is nothing without risk and you need to keep taking risks. And what I'm going to do is talk about this specifically in the context of dating and relationships. And the reason I'm going to do this is because I had a bit of a nightmare yesterday with my video setup situation. So there's a video on the channel. If you look in the feed, you'll see the last video I put up was called "Dating is Sales," and it was a video I was really excited about making. I was really keen to talk about this idea about dating being like sales. And so I made the video. So I was sitting in a cafe in central London and I thought it was okay. You know, I thought it was all right. So I sit there and I record the video and I'm getting really into it and I'm really sort of like getting passionate about it. People are looking at me like, what the hell is this dude doing? I'm talking about why dating is like sales and why you need to keep up the momentum. You need to keep up your sales funnel, if you like, in dating, because you know you need to just maximize your opportunities. Basically, that's kind of what I'm going to be talking about now. But the thing is, I put the video up. First off, I had a nightmare getting the video up. If you try to upload videos, normally it takes bloody ages anyway. It's a nightmare. And I was in public, so I was using public Wi-Fi in this cafe where I was, and it took ages and ages and ages. And then I got right to the end of trying to upload this thing, and then it failed. And then I was like, oh God. So I went somewhere else, that didn't work. And then I thought, right, I'll just go home. I'll do it on my own system. I'll upload it and that'll be it. And so I went home and I started uploading it on my Ethernet cable, upload the video. And then I listened to it. And I think, God, the sound on that is awful, because there was much more background noise that had come into that video than I had thought. So I was like, geez. So I thought I'll just go back into the editing software and see if I can do anything with the sound. So I went back in, fiddled with the sound, then tried to reload the video. By now it's getting to about midnight in the UK. But I tried to reload this video and I ended up going to bed. And then when I've uploaded the new video, the sound is kind of even worse, just in a slightly different way. So I just put the original video up. It's up there now. It's called "Why Dating Is Like Sales." It hasn't had many views. The sound is pretty bad. And to be honest, I might end up taking it down again. I put it up there because I really like what I had to say in that video, and I kind of like how I put it across as well. But it's just the sound is not very good. So as I say, I may end up taking it down. So what I wanted to do in this quick broadcast now is really just to talk around the same topic. So I've titled it something slightly different. I've called it "Why You Must Keep Taking Risks." But in a sense, you know, it comes down to the same thing, really. Dating is all about getting into contact with as many people as you can. That is, sorry, establishing contacts with as many different women as you can. And then from there, whittling it down to the ones who will firstly respond to your text messages or your SMS. Secondly, agree to meet you on a date. Thirdly, actually turn up on the date. And then fourthly, want to take things further. Now, at any one of those steps, I've identified 4 steps there, but if you break it down, there's probably actually many more steps than that in this chain between not knowing somebody to being intimate with them. Many of the people that you meet are going to fall off at some point along that journey. Okay, so you know, you might see the girl walking in the street and then you're too nervous to approach her, so that's just obviously never going to get off the ground. Nothing's going to happen there. But what if you approach her and then she says, oh, thank you, that was so nice of you to come up and say hello to me, however, I've got a boyfriend, and you say, okay, fine, you walk off, then that's not going to go anywhere. But then say, what if she says, oh, it was so nice of you to come up to talk to me, and then you say, well, listen, I think we should exchange numbers. Here's my phone. Let's meet up for cappuccinos at some point or whatever it is. She gives you the number. Okay, fine. But then she doesn't reply to the text. So then you text her again and she still doesn't reply. So she falls off the pipeline as well. So at every stage of the game, you are going to get prospects that you thought were potentially good prospects falling off, and they're no longer going to be prospects. Okay, and this is exactly like sales. So I worked in sales for a long time in various different sort of genres for different sorts of companies. But the thing about bit of green tea, the thing about sales is that you need to keep replenishing your pipeline. And there's a fantastic book actually on this very subject about sales. It's not related to dating at all, but it's applicable here. I forget the name of it. I'm going to find it, and I'll try and put it in the description for this if I can. But basically, the premise, the argument of this whole book is that if you want to be successful in sales, you need to keep filling your pipeline. And the same thing is absolutely true in dating, in the marketplace that we face. And look, this isn't. I'm talking primarily to guys here, but this is something that we all do. You know, this is something that women do as well, because in the dating market that we inhabit, things are very volatile, let's say. A lot of prospects don't come to fruition for many different reasons. And so it makes sense until you're into a more serious relationship, if that's where you want to go, that you are keeping your options open and you are bringing as many people into that pipeline as you can. Because otherwise, if you've only got one egg in the basket, and then you drop the basket, then that's your egg gone. And there's no, what do you do then? You have to start again. You have to buy a new basket, or you have to find more eggs or whatever. So instead of doing that, why not be replenishing your supply of eggs? I'm mixing my metaphors now, but why not keep filling your pipeline as you go along, so that when one prospect kind of comes to a dead end and it's not going to go anywhere, then you can say, okay, fine, that one didn't come off, but I've got these other prospects over here, so I'm going to concentrate on those instead. And one of the problems that I find as a coach, I work with guys who come to me with different issues about their dating lives, about trying to meet new people, meet more people, improve their prospects, and so on. And what a lot of these guys tend classically to want to talk about is this one special girl. So it might be a girl that they have fantasized about for a long time. They're not really getting any traction with her, but they want to be with her, and so they ask for advice on how they might make that happen. Or it could be somebody that they met. Maybe they approached her in a nightclub or a lounge or a bar or a coffee shop or something and got her details, and they're messaging her, and then for some reason the process has stopped there. Like she's not responding to the messages. She won't come out on the date. She's responding to the messages, but she's kind of being flaky. She's making excuses why she can't turn up on the date. And then the guy will come to me and he will say, okay, so what do I do in this specific situation with this girl? She said, I've got netball practice next Wednesday, so I can't meet you for a drink. What does that mean? What should I do? How can I get her to come out? And, 9 times out of 10 in these situations, the answer is always you need to go out and you need to engage with more girls. You need to create more opportunities for yourself. Now, of course, I'm happy to look at the text message exchange and see if there's anything I can suggest. But ultimately, if the girl says something like, I can't meet you next week because I'm on a health kick and I'm not going to be going out and drinking, so I think it's best that we don't meet. And then she doesn't put anything else. What does that mean? Well, I mean, I don't know. I'm not a mind reader. It could be that she actually is on a health kick. It could be that she genuinely is taking a week off her lifestyle of going out and partying and drinking and all this kind of thing. And she just wants to have a week of chilling and just looking after herself. And that's perfectly plausible. Alternatively, it might be that she doesn't like the person who's asking her out and she's looking for an easy way to let him down gently. So that could be an excuse that she's using. And the fact that she hasn't said, but let's meet up the following Thursday or whatever, doesn't necessarily bode that well, because if you would imagine if she was really interested, she would provide an alternative date, which is one way that you can tell if a girl is actually interested, despite the fact that she's sort of blowing you off a little bit. But the truth of the matter is that I don't know. And it's sort of academic anyway, because all you can do is leave it for a few days and then ping her again and say, oh, how's the health kit going? It would be great if we could meet up. How about, I know this amazing place. How about cocktails on Wednesday? Meet me at 8 p.m. by XXX station, and see what happens then. And then if at that point she makes another excuse, then you've got to think, okay, well, once maybe was plausible, twice this is seeming a little bit shaky now. And at that point, you might choose just to remove her from your prospects list. You might decide that actually that's it. You're not going to contact her again. There's no point. This is a dead lead, if you like. On the other hand, you might relegate her to the bottom of the pile. You might then, a week or so later, happen to come across her number while you're scrolling through your WhatsApp, and you might think, okay, I'll drop her one last message, see what she's up to. But by that point, you don't really have any serious expectation of anything developing between the two of you. It looks like this was a blowout, but you're not concerned because in the meantime, you've been consistently filling up the pipeline with new prospects. You've been going out and meeting new girls, new people. And so you've got plenty of other girls or women that you are interacting with. And the likelihood is that of those, at least one of those is looking like a decent prospect, is looking like she's going to want to come out and meet you. Now, it's amazing, really. We all know this in theory. We all know that it's a bit of a numbers game, as it were. But it's amazing how few guys, even though they know this logically, won't actually apply this in the real world. And what you get is this unfortunate situation where guys are fixed on one girl or maybe a couple of girls that they've had some sort of initial meeting with, and they're trying to make something happen and it's kind of not really happening. And they go to the dating coach and they're asking for ways to basically unstick it. How do I kickstart this thing and get it going? And that is not the model of dating advice that I give out. That is not what I'm teaching. What I'm teaching are social skills that will enable you to get better generally with people and women at large. This isn't about, and this is not just me saying this is a very old thing that guys in this dating coach environment have said for a long time. This isn't just me saying, okay, do X, Y, and Z, and you will get Amelia, this specific girl who lives at number 23 Acacia Avenue. It's not like that. It doesn't work like that, because any number of variables could come into play that will affect whether a particular girl is going to want to date you or not. You might not be her type. She might genuinely have a boyfriend. She might genuinely be getting married. She might have just had a bereavement in her family. She might actually be on a health kick. She might be going to live in the south of France. There are many, 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 many factors here that we don't know about and we can't control. All you can control is the action that you put in. And the action that you put in, if you want to have a prolific dating, socializing life, is bringing more people into your pipeline, or to put it another way, bringing more people into your world. That's what you've got to do. You've got to increase the number of people that you know. Basically, you are looking at your contacts in your phone, and that should be going up every week. Every week, you should be adding more contacts into that phone from people that you've met. And you might have met them during the daytime on your commute to work. You might have met them in the bookstore, in the coffee shop. You might have met them at a dinner party. You might have met them at a restaurant, at a bar, a lounge, whatever it is. It doesn't really matter. The means by which you meet them is less important than the fact that you are adding to the number of contacts that you have. And by the way, you can absolutely use the dating apps as well. Why not? Use the dating apps if you want to. Use Tinder, use Bumble, use Hinge, use whatever else is suited to you, or any other up-and-coming dating apps that appear. If you're watching this video later after 2020, use the dating apps as well. Use social media if you want. Use Instagram. It doesn't really matter. The means by which you get these girls into your orbit are less important than the fact that they are there. All you're looking to do is to pull them into your pool of potential dates, and then you start to message them, and then you send a couple of cheeky messages, have a little bit of a joke, and then you suggest a date. If she agrees to the date, then good, you're on to the next stage. If she doesn't agree to the date, then you don't get butthurt about it. You don't go, oh my God, what a bitch. You don't go onto a message board and start flaming people or saying that dating advice doesn't work. You don't do any of that stuff. You just go, okay, fine, whatever. I'll ping her again in a few days' time. You ping her again in a few days' time and see what happens. In the end, the ultimate proof of the pudding is she going to come out and meet you or not? So that's really all that we need to know about. Beyond that, it's all speculation. You can call your dating coach and say, okay, she responds sporadically to me. She doesn't always answer. Sometimes she does. Sometimes she's flirty. Sometimes she's not. What do you think this means? And the dating coach can talk to you about it and charge you for the privilege of that. And he can say, well, I think it could be this, or I think it could be that. But in the end, none of that matters, because all that matters is she going to come out or is she not? And you only find that out by pitching the date. That is by proposing a date, a time, a venue, and saying, meet me there at 8 p.m. next Wednesday, blah, blah, blah. She's either going to say yes or no, or she's going to not say anything and you're going to turn up and she flakes. But physically, she's either going to turn up or she isn't. And that is the only proof. That is the only measure that matters in this whole equation. It doesn't, your speculations don't matter. Your dating coach's speculations don't matter. It's fruitless to go down the path of overanalyzing this stuff. So you need to be taking risks, is the thing. You need to be always out there taking the shots for success. That is to say, you need to be approaching, even if it feels awkward. You need to be sending messages. You need to be out there in the bars, the venues, whatever it is, whatever suits your personality. And you need to be social, and you need to be prepared to take social risks in order to get those contact details, so that you are filling up this pipeline that you are developing in your smartphone. That's it. That's how it works. And this is how people get successful at this stuff. Troy Rafi says, hi Rafi, why is it few people can pull off the rake archetype, or why can people pull it off while others can't? That's how I feel it works anyway, because it can come off as needy. Are the people that pull it off natural alphas? I don't know about that really. I think those archetypes, he's talking about The Art of Seduction by Robert Greene, which is obviously a book I talk about a lot. Those archetypes, I think the idea is that some of them will apply to you and some of them won't. I think I partially embody the rake archetype along with the dandy archetype. Actually, that's another one that I'm quite strong on. A little bit of the star as well. I try to bring a bit of that in. I do the rake thing. So what he's talking about is basically making the girl feel like she's the only one in the world, making the girl feel like he's fallen madly in love with her. Sometimes as an opener, I used to go up and say, I just saw you over there and I fell madly in love with you and I had to come up and say hello to you. Now, obviously, I'm doing that as a bit of a joke, and usually she kind of smiles or she giggles a little bit. But I do embody that rake thing that he's talking about. It can be hard to pull off because it can seem needy. I think the way to pull it off is to ensure that she can tell from your demeanor and your general vibe that actually you're not a chode. That's the important thing. You can say all the chody stuff. And actually, I did an article once about, I think I called it faux romantic game or something, where I was saying, just go really over the top. You're like, oh my God, you're so beautiful. I've fallen madly in love with you. You make it like you're some sort of in some 80s rom-com or something like that. You just go massively over the top. And that can actually work as long as you're communicating the fact that underneath it all, actually, you're not a chode. Actually, you have options. You're kind of saying this stuff because it's sort of funny in a cheesy kind of a way, so you can get away with it. I wouldn't say necessarily that the guys who do that are any more natural alphas than anyone else. I think it's just, it just depends if that's congruent with your personality. I suppose if you're a natural alpha, that helps because you can get away with saying this stuff and it's more obvious that you're not a chode and you're saying it in a kind of slightly ironic way. And that's what you want to try to hit, a slightly ironic delivery. All right, so Chris says, can we talk about leaving the corporate world in your 40s to go out on your own, start your own business and leave the cushy corporate job? Yeah, we can, but we haven't got time today, unfortunately, because in a minute, I've got to go on to John MLD's channel because I'm doing a show with John, Modern Life Dating, where we are, amongst other things, doing a very big announcement about some event that we are going to be doing together quite soon. So you want to tune into that. Join me there over on Modern Life Dating, John's channel, where I will be popping up again in a few minutes. So I wanted to keep this one very short. And as I say, yes, you see, Mr. MLD has said huge announcement coming. There is. We're going to reveal something huge live on the internet, both of us. So tune in for that. Yeah, I mean, what was I going to say? Yeah, that was it really. I just wanted to do this because I wanted to get something up to kind of probably replace the video that I did yesterday, because I think I probably will take it down. The quality of the sound is not good. So that was it really. It's a quick one today. I hope you got some value from that. I'll be coming up on John's channel very shortly. So go over to Modern Life Dating, subscribe to my channel if you haven't. Do subscribe to John's channel. In terms of the corporate stuff, yeah, we will talk about that. I'll do maybe a show about that next week, so stay tuned. Grab my books, Renegade Dating Blueprint, 11 of my books about game, dating, the sexual marketplace, attraction, and so on. Links below. Subscribe to this channel and subscribe to my email list as well, my daily email list. Link is below. You get a free article from me every day. I'll see you over on John's channel in just a minute. Bye-bye.